When you're in a relationship, you almost feel responsible for your partner's happiness. But the thing is, you're not. Welcome everybody to the Rally Cry podcast. I am your host, Angel Rios, and you are here because it's all about getting better by 1%. And that's all about, understanding certain things, understanding yourself, understanding the people, the relationships, and all the things that is around you for you to be one. And if you're cleaning, if you're cooking, if you're walking, driving, whatever it is, I just appreciate that you are here with your time and you are listening. If it's on your favorite podcast platform or even if you are watching on YouTube. And today, I actually have Instagram right here live because I just want to, give people the opportunity to see the behind the scenes and just see how my mind is just constructing of all these things, because today's topic is about, how can, I be more happier in my relationships, and what does it take? Right. And I feel like there's so many factors that are in there, right? It's yourself, is the person that you're with. And, there's so many backgrounds, there's so many experiences involved that it makes you not too sure about how can I make the person that I'm with happy. But I think the most important thing is, how can I be happy? I think that's the biggest question there. I think, how can I make myself happy? And making myself happy is how I can allow for my partner to be happy. That love that you have for yourself, and then also giving that understanding, right? You can't go into a relationship with too much expectation of thinking that you are going to be the person responsible for your partner's happiness. Because when you put yourself in the position to make your partner happy, and a key word, make your partner happy, it robs you from your own happiness. Because you're so focused on what can you do for them rather than what you can do for yourself, right? It's like what you hear with, you can't pour out of an empty cup. You can't make someone else happy if you don't know what it is to be happy with yourself. And I think there's so many variables that we think about with making our partner happy, right? We think about giving them stuff. We think about, having certain things for them. And it's a lot of times it can be a material thing. And a lot of that is temporary. I mean, let's just say happiness is even temporary. And if you think about how all the time you're going to be trying to make your partner happy, you're going to be so conflicted because you do one thing and maybe that's not enough. And then you do another thing and then maybe that's not even enough. And then with all these things that you're trying to do to make your partner happy, you then realize all these things that I'm doing is just not working. And then you question yourself, am I enough? And then you feel like, you're resenting your partner because no matter what you do is not making them happy. And this is the biggest point of a relationship. The point of a relationship is so that you can be happy within yourself and your partner is happy with themselves and you both come together and be happy together. Right? It's about really coming into a relationship and having values that you have for yourself as well as they have for themselves, and just sharing that and talking about that and understanding what is that like for them and what is that like for you. Because what makes me happy might not make the other person happy. What makes the other person happy might not make you happy. And that is why in a relationship, it's important to understand that happiness. And that's how, that can sustain. If you come into a relationship with expectations, then you are putting yourself in the position that you're responsible for their happiness, or they're responsible for your happiness. That, my partner should make me happy, right? And that's not the case. Your partner or yourself is not responsible for making one another happy, because it's just like I said, it's when you can do one thing and then another, and then you're conflicted and it's not really making them happy. Matter of fact, the person and yourself will be the only person that knows how to make happiness come into fruition. And if I say to myself, you should make me happy, or you're supposed to make me feel happy, then you let that other person in control of your happiness. And it's not really about control. It's about ownership. It's about owing it to yourself that you should be happy. The crazy part is there's so many things that can make you happy. And that's why in a relationship, you should be coming into thinking it for yourself about what is the things that allow happiness to flow within me, right? Think of it like a river. The river continuously flows. There's rocks, there's boulders, but those boulders and rocks doesn't stop the river from flowing. It just keeps going. And it's almost the same thing with yourself. Happiness continuously flows through your body. And when you have these expectations and when you find it that someone else is responsible for your own life, you put a barrier there to limit you from being happy. So you got to ask yourself, like, what are the things that is limiting me from happiness? And what can I do in order to understand my own happiness, right? That's asking yourself, like, okay, what are my triggers? What do I value? What are my aspirations? And what are my deal breakers, right? There's the things that you do want and there's just things that you don't want. You need to understand both in order to be happy in a relationship. And this might even sound like, it sounds like it's just an individual thing, and it is. A relationship is not, I think when we go into a relationship, is always about, we are one. It's not really about we are one. We're here to make one, right? I mean, like procreation, right? We're here to, initially have a kid if you want kids, right? But with just that concept is that you are still yourself and so am I. And we're here to make a relationship. We're not the relationship. We're here to make a relationship. And, that's just me sharing some perspective. That's really about trying to break it down. We shouldn't be so conflicted in thinking that when we are looking for a relationship or we're being in a relationship, that other person is my other half or this person is making me happy. They can see what makes me happy. And that's what allows me to be happy because they see me, for who I am, not for who they want me to be, right? And that goes back again, expectations. Expectation is the biggest thing that will rob you from your happiness. Comparing yourself from someone else will rob you from your happiness. And that's why in relationships, so many times you may hear, if it's from the relationships you've been in, right? Or even relationships you've been around, you hear a lot of times where, this person did this or but this person did that. And it's not about what the other person is doing or what they can do or what they've been doing. And it's like, that's why you have to understand. You have to understand your own values, your own deal breakers, your own triggers, and understand that some of it you have to deal with it yourself and then, communicate with your partner and get it situated. But you should never go into a relationship thinking that getting into one is what will make you happy. If you're not happy within yourself, you cannot be happy with someone else because you can't make someone else happy if you don't understand it for yourself. And that's the biggest component in a relationship. To be able to be in solitude with yourself and be in contentment of yourself is what allows you to appreciate the person, right? Because you're able to be in gratitude of the things that you have within yourself, the things that you have around you. And then that's when you can come into a relationship and appreciate that add-on to your life, right? Don't make a relationship all about them. It's all about us now and how we both can collide and make something so much more bigger, right? Two worlds that collide that make a bigger world, right? You don't want to go into, it's like a house, right? You don't want to go into a house and just want to have one giant room. You want to have different parts of the room, and that different parts of the room is the different personalities, and being able to go and understand each room, understand each personality that is that person. And that comes with patience, tolerance, understanding. And so I really hope you guys, took something from this, because remember, happiness doesn't come from a relationship. Happiness comes from yourself. And you should never have expectation in thinking that someone else should make you happy or that you should be making someone else happy. Every time there's ups and downs, but it's all about going through it and understanding and not feeling like the other person is responsible for that. I really appreciate you guys. The things has been really well. And, game night was just this past Thursday. And, it was definitely a wholesome experience, everybody coming down and just having a good time. And, one thing that I'm really planning on is putting another segment to game night just so that it could be a little bit more engaging and a bigger experience. And, definitely stay tuned to that. And make sure that you follow on Instagram at The Rally Cry. And if you haven't followed already on your favorite podcast platform, make sure you do so for future episodes. And you can also follow on YouTube if you would just want to watch for the visuals. And I appreciate you guys. And until next time, you guys be easy. Peace.